Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Yes, sir. Reading you loud and clear. Clear. The clock has started. The clock has started.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
You are now tuned in to this week's episode of our podcast. Today we are going to interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in our field. By sharing our collective expertise, we will show you how to harness, control, and use your own skill set to achieve ultimate success and live the life you want. And now, please welcome your host.
Welcome to this week's Smallest Gas Podcast. This podcast is designed for the small government contractors, service providers, and manufacturers as part of the government contractor ecosystem, connecting people, organizations, and resources. I'm your host, JustNate, and this week we have DK. Welcome, DK. Thanks. Oh, sorry.
Am I there? There we
You're
go.
there.
Thanks,
It messed me up. You're supposed to be number 2, and she's number 2, and the buttons, it's tough.
good.
I have problems.
That's good.
I even color-coded everything. Okay, so we are back.
Blue is 2.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be. Whatever. Anyways,
there we were.
We are down here in Pueblo.
That's right.
At our first 2022 event.
Yep. And everybody's
just
gone.
Kind of walked out.
They're on
an
a tour.
Impromptu tour of the water tower
They're on
place.
a tour of the water tower place. If you have not been to the water tower place out in
OMG
TV land, you need to come down here and check it out.
Get it.
It's going to be a new innovation center down here in Pueblo and making massive changes to the old meatpacking plant.
Knuckles Meatpacking Factory.
Yep.
Yes.
And if you can kind of see in the background here, it's a really neat facility. So something to see.
Okay, so Dennis, we have another person here with us.
Yes.
We have Carma Loontjer
Yes,
from
correct.
SBDC, Southern Colorado.
Southern Colorado SBDC, yes.
Awesome.
He's sweating now because he was close.
I got it right. I looked at the wrong.
Lunger,
never mind.
like you're lunging.
I get
an
that,
Olympic
but it's not
sport.
spelled that
That's
way.
not how it's spelled at all.
Have you not watched the Summer Olympics when they have lunging?
No. I don't think anybody's watched that.
That could be a sport, though.
What channel was I on? The lunging.
A popular exercise in gyms everywhere is lunging.
That's Cinemax,
right,
Dennis,
that's right.
and that wasn't lunging.
That's right. That's right. So, Carma, tell us about what you do for the Small Business Development Center.
All right. I would be happy to do that. I am the Education and Special Events Coordinator for the Small Business Development Center of Southern Colorado. So my primary role in the company is to facilitate and perpetuate our educational opportunities for small business owners or people that are thinking about starting a small business, people that already have them. I'm always looking for content that is relevant to either just the execution of starting a business, or if you're already in one, there's a current topic that's a popular topic right now. Like we just did some e-commerce classes. Huge topic right now.
Huge, yeah.
Very, very helpful for small businesses to have e-commerce on
We
their
should
website.
have attended that training probably.
Probably.
We need help.
So that's my primary job. And then throughout the year, we do have special events. Thank goodness COVID is winding up, I hope. And we're actually able to do some...
In person.
You mean winding down?
Winding down.
Yeah.
Not winding up.
Oh, yeah.
You're
We
wound
don't-
Yeah,
up.
you're right. You're right.
Nate's
I
wound up.
misspoke. But it is allowing us to have events in person again.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Huge.
yeah.
So where is SBDC in Pueblo? I actually don't know.
Okay, so we are actually located right in the heart of downtown. We're on First and Main.
Okay.
We're in the Community Banks building directly north of the Marriott Hotel, so very
okay.
easy to find. So the SBDCs are hosted by a local institution. They're a nationwide product, federally funded product. But they are hosted by a local entity, and our local entity is Pueblo Community College.
Oh,
so that's our
nice.
host. So we have a wonderful host with them. We're very glad to be partnered with them. So yeah.
Yeah, and so what's the symbiotic relationship there? What do they do for you and you do for them? What's the...
Well, they provide us with office space, which is
Right.
wonderful. They provide us with kind of a community of a platform. So we do partner with like the business
school and That's
stuff
what I
like
was
that.
getting to, yeah.
So we visit the classes and we offer our services to those, aspiring entrepreneurs and that kind of a thing.
Nice.
So, and they also do really fun stuff like provide us with email and technology and all that kind of the nuts and bolts of
Something
what you need
you
to do to have an entity these days.
We actually talk to within the government contracting ecosystem, and we talk about SBDC a lot. And
Good.
people are always like, well, PTAC is the kind of the support. I said, well, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
PTAC is if you want to be a government contractor.
Right.
And whatever that means, because that could mean a whole different genre of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I tell people, if you want to become a government contractor, go to PTAC to get your SAMs. They help you with that stuff, right? The admin,
right.
SAMs, all that stuff. But if you want to go commercial, go over to SBDC.
Yes.
But that's not a true and fast rule, because a lot of stuff that you guys do, like you talked about training education, a lot of that is applicable to everybody, right? Any
Yes.
entrepreneur.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, PTAC is more focused to getting your, like I said, the paperwork in place to do government contracting.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And then you guys are more onto the broader, hey, I want to be a
Right.
business.
So I would consider PTAC as not necessarily a subsidiary, but they're more of a specialty organization. The SBDCs we have 3 primary goals, if I can just digress for just a second. So the first product that the SBDCs offer, and it's written into our charter as an SBDC, is that we offer free confidential business counseling for anybody, and it can be anybody anywhere along their small business journey. So you have this idea for the next brilliant widget, and you're like, I don't know what to do with this idea. I don't know how to start a business. We'll help you there. You've started your widget. You've marketed it. You're in revenue. Say you have $5 million in sales. Awesome. And then the pandemic hits and that widget doesn't have it as much applicable as it did.
Yep.
And you need to pivot. We can help you pivot. That kind of a thing with our business counselors and our resources that we have available.
So what are the other, that was?
The other 2 is the educational piece.
Right.
So we do a lot of classes on what entity is correct for your business, how to find business insurance. We do a lot with bankers, because anybody that has started a business knows that funding is one of the biggest hurdles to overcome. So we really try to partner with bankers and angel investors or accelerators. Not
do you guys
that
do
way.
that
More
stuff
is just a relationship. And so part of the educational piece is that we'll do what we call funding panels. So we'll have a local
forms.
bank. We'll have a big bank. We'll have an angel investors. We'll have a venture capitalist. We'll have community lenders. So lenders that have a wide variety of different types of products to fit different types of entities, basically.
Right.
So we do a lot with building those relationships to have that information available. And then the third thing that we do is we find that information. So if you're wondering, how do I start a food truck in Pueblo? Well, I have a relationship with somebody at the city of Pueblo that can guide you through that. So building those. How do you
have a food truck in front of the
They actually do a pretty good job of
food trucks here are awesome.
Food trucks everywhere.
Yes, they are.
I'm actually very disappointed the food truck that was out here for the longest time.
Oh, really? It's
sold.
not there. Oh, it did? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big food truck foodie too. I love those things, man.
57 trips to Hawaii. I won't eat any place but a food truck in Hawaii.
Yeah, I bet.
They're amazing.
I bet.
So hold on. I want to talk. Do you guys help just for-profit businesses, or can you help nonprofits as well?
We're mostly focused on for-profit, but we realize that there is a demand for nonprofits, and a lot of our classes are applicable for nonprofits as well. So,
like the e-commerce,
Yeah.
and everything's free or small fee.
If we have costs associated with the class, like we provide a book, or we have to bring in speakers that cost money, or experts that charge us a nominal amount for their time, we do sometimes have to charge. But the correct term is low or no cost classes.
No cost.
Yes. So we're not going to be charging, you go to Tony Robbins, he's $10,000 a weekend or something like that. So it won't be anything like that.
Last time I went to Tony Robbins,
I've never been there.
So yeah, that's basically what we do are those 3 things. And we really, we consider ourselves a strong presence and member of our business community in Pueblo. And we really work on the relationships for finding, go talk to this person about that idea, go talk to this person about that idea, kind of that mentor-mentee coaching relationship. So,
well, I'm glad you're here. You're definitely part of the ecosystem that we talked about, the government contracting ecosystem, because it's not, everybody's like, well, you just work with small government contractors. I'm like, well, they're the core, the kernel, if you will. But you got to have primes, you got to have service providers, you got to have manufacturers, you got to have professional organizations, you got to have banks, you know what I mean? It just goes in organizations like you guys, government organizations, I guess I'd call you, to help this ecosystem thrive. So thank you for what you do. I think it's a great thing that you
happy to do it. Yeah.
So my question actually was going to be, so what got you into this line of work? What kind of...
Honestly, COVID actually kind of got me into this specific position.
Interesting.
Yes. My background is actually in hospitality and restaurant management. So my boss, Brian, and I were actually working for PCC when COVID struck in March of 2020, as we all know. And our jobs were eliminated because we were in a hospitality business, and that business
didn't go so well.
We literally went from having a full book of business, like the whole year was planned out, to nothing in 3 days. It was that crazy.
Why is that?
Well, because you can't have catering events if you're not allowed.
You guys were actually doing hospitality work, not you were teaching it. You were doing the work.
She wasn't at SBDC at the time.
No, she said PPCC.
Just Pueblo Community
PCC.
College. Yeah.
PCC.
Not Pikes Peak. Pueblo Community College.
So there was a small
You're getting hate mail.
There was a small piece of PCC where we had like a catering department. So that, and then we did teach with the culinary arts department as well.
That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's way more complicated than we need to go into here. But anyway, basically
that part of my life is over.
I went from having, a whole year of work to nothing in just a few months. And because of our work with the catering department and how much business knowledge that my boss and I had with, managing a restaurant is managing a business. There was a director and a coordinator position open with the SBDC, and we qualified for the position.
Oh, so you both moved?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that's a sweet thing, huh?
It actually worked out really well.
So what is your title?
My title is Education and Special Events Coordinator.
Okay.
So the hospitality piece comes in real handy when you're doing special events.
Well, we had some other guys. That's career mashing.
So when I was working with the local SBDC, but there was a different team there at that time. So we need to start working more with you guys because we're going to be bringing these events here at least every 3 months.
Well, that's where I was going next. What's on the docket? What do you guys got coming up?
What we have coming up, we have our Leading Edge for business.
And what's Leading Edge? So I know what it is, but for the group out on TV land.
It is an 8-week series of classes that basically you can, at the end of the 8 weeks, you will have started your business. You will have a fledged out business plan. You will have a elevator pitch ready to go. So when you're talking to me or talking to an investor, you're ready to just give them the quick summary. So
it's almost an accelerator, just not for technologies, for your business.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. So that's the Leading Edge series. We did put together a series for women in business, so women business owners. We did some research. There are some special basically characteristics that women in business sometimes encounter being a woman in business. So we put together a series of classes. It's kind of a hybrid between, just making sure that you value the product that you're putting out there and don't discount yourself, because a lot of women business owners do that.
Right.
Because women, as a general rule, by nature, are more nurturing and caring and that kind of a thing.
You missed our last guest, and she's a perfect candidate for you to teach a class, actually.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's kind of a hybrid between
Dr. Lee.
those kind of characteristics and then the leading edge. So we're going to have, boots on the ground, like here's how to finding funding for women entrepreneurs is even harder than just finding funding for male entrepreneurs.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, we just found some research on that as well. So we're really trying to tailor this series of classes to our women business owners, and hopefully they can have some tips and tricks on how to kind of overcome those specific characteristics of being a woman business owner.
Yeah.
And then we are also focused on the childcare issue that's happening right now, where there's people that want to go to work, but they can't find childcare.
Yeah.
There's some legislation coming down the pipeline where there's some funding for us to do training for, having your providers starting your own childcare business, either home-based or like standalone.
Yeah.
So we're doing some training with that. We also partner with the Colorado Department of Transportation on their educational classes. So we're in the middle of a trucking series with them, which again, high demand.
Big need. Yeah, really.
Yeah. So we've got a lot coming down, and we've got a lot of really good, state and local partners that we do this
So
with.
how do I, as a listener, how do I find out about these events and how to get a hold of you guys?
So the best thing to do is to go to our website, which is www.southerncolorado.sbdc.org. That has all the information about our events and what we do and resources for you, that kind of a thing. PTAC is on there
Right.
as well. So that's the best place to go, of course. You can also call us at 719-549-3245. That's our direct line. It is staffed every day, and we do endeavor to call people back within 24 hours. So.
And you guys are this really Pandora's box. I'm asking. I know the answer to the question, right?
It's okay.
But, so when people go to Southern Colorado SBDC, you guys are, like you mentioned earlier, it is a statewide organization, national organization.
Yes.
But if you want to just stay here in the state, there's SBDC offices in almost every.
Yes.
I don't know how many there are in the state, but
There are 14.
14.
Yes.
Wow.
So just another little tangent. The SBDCs are funded by the Small Business Administration,
Right.
and through an act from 40 years ago or something like that. So the money goes from the SBA to the state central SBDC, which is housed in Denver, and then that money is distributed to the local service centers.
Right.
So the Southern Colorado Service Center is Pueblo County, Fremont County, Huerfano County, and Custer County. And then every other county in the state has a service center as well.
Yeah.
We all work together, though. If you happen to be, like just today, we had somebody from Trinidad that happened to be in the area, and they stopped in, and they're like, we really need help. We will find you those resources, and if something happens where that's not available, we will help you ourselves.
that's why I was bringing that up. And you guys all put on different events, and a lot of them are web-based, and the training, you can do the training in the different locations. And like you said, it's no low cost, right?
Yeah.
So it's a deal. So if you're thinking about starting a business, you guys are the place to go.
And one thing I would also say in reference to the educational classes is one thing that COVID did do for us is everything did become web-based. So we used WebEx, and that has the record function. So all of our classes, I recorded all of them, and we now have a library of 27 different classes that you can just view on your own time. There's no cost for those at all. If you're thinking about on demand, if you think you are wanting to start a business, but you're still working your full-time job and you just are like, oh man, I have this idea. How do I trademark it? We have a class that we talk to the USPTO office, and you can learn as much as you can cover in an hour about trademarks and how to work with the USPTO office, that kind of
lunch
thing.
hour. That's the best way to start a new business. Lunch hour while you're at your old company.
Yep. Exactly.
And then you leave, and a month later, he was just doing lunch in his
I don't
office
know.
every week.
It's weird. Close his door all the time.
Well, Carmen, thank you. This was very good.
You're welcome.
I learned a lot, and
Thank you.
we would look forward to doing work with you and
Awesome.
helping to promote you
yeah.
guys and working together, to promote it's in the end for us, it's economic development, right?
Absolutely.
Really, in the end,
Exactly what it is.
Absolutely.
help all our communities to grow and people to have employment. And
All
it's
about the ecosystem. That's
Yes,
the
absolutely.
huge part. Our goal here is really to help break through those barriers between
Yep,
here
that's
and
what we do
Springs
too.
and Denver and just get people starting to talk. I mean, we've got a huge asset here of all the manufacturing capabilities here in Pueblo. We just want to get that word out to everybody.
Yep, absolutely. And we're here to help in any way
Excellent.
we can. So
Well, thank
Okay.
you very much.
You're welcome.
Southern Colorado
SBDC.org.
.org.
Okay.
And 719-549-3245.
Yep.
Well,
We're also on Facebook.
Oh, there you go.
So
Awesome.
very much.
Well, thank you very much. And this is Just Nate signing off.
Thanks for listening.
You've reached the end of another episode of the Smallscast podcast. Connect with us at thesmalls.org. Don't forget to sign up to our newsletter to receive our free materials. See you at the next episode.
See you at the next episode.